This is Orny Adams, and you're watching Celebs Secrets for You. Yeah. That I can just be crazy. I can be me. I can have fun. Like at the red carpet, you know, everyone showed up dressed in their Armani or whatever they're wearing, and I was dressed in the tracksuit with a whistle, and I had a flask with tequila in it, and I was drinking. I guess by the time I got to you, yeah, okay, yeah. At that point, I'd had enough to drink, I think, but that was fun, and that's Coach. You know, the head of MTV came up to me, and he said, "I like the outfit," and I said, "Well, I'm not wasting my own on this little show, this little thing." I'm true to Coach. Coach is crazy. Well, I can't say anything like that, and I don't even know. I do know that most likely I'll be back, unless I get fired, which, you know, with me can happen. You know, I was stealing props from the set and giving them away on Twitter, and I've been fighting with MTV now for months about that. So, that's what I said. It's a gift. It's a gift, MTV. I'll give you something. Would you like a lacrosse ball or something signed by? So it's taken care of. It's taken care of. HahaJK.com. Yeah. It's called My Crappy Week. Have you had a chance to listen? Shame on you, young lady. It's a fun podcast because outside of Coach in real life, Orny Adams, that's me. My life, everything is wrong. Everything falls apart. It's always like crappy stuff happens to me. My dry cleaner yelled at me last week. My dry cleaner. I'm bringing him business, and he's yelling at me. So I have to fire my dry cleaner. I got on a plane. I was in first class, you know, Coach, season 2 money. I sit down, and I walk in the plane. There's a blind guy sitting in my seat, and I go, "There's a blind guy." Now I've got this decision to make, right? I go, somebody's in my seat. You know, he's got the cane and he's got everything but the dog. Clearly, he's blind, and you know, he just sat there, even though we were supposed to be seated in Coach, and now I had to have him thrown out, and I feel horrible. But I get into a lot of trouble. I was on a plane. Have you ever fly like Southwest and they make like corny announcements and they try and be funny? And everyone laughs? Right, thank you. That's why I like you. I really like you a lot. They start saying funny, and everyone around them, you know, like they're like, we're taking off, doors shut, everyone shut off your iPhone, iPad, iBook, basically anything begins with an I, and everyone around me is like, and as a professional, I'm offended. I'm offended. So I go, I'm going to join in. So I go, hey, how about the I kid behind me? Nothing. The whole plane hated me. Thank you. They didn't get it. They didn't get that. They were being treated from a pro. Something actually funny that wasn't prepared by the flight attendant looking for attention. But my crappy week is just that. I don't know what it is. So on the plane last week, after the blind guy took my chair, I felt bad, and I looked at the guy next to me, like, I feel horrible about that. And he said, I don't think he was really blind. And he was looking at his phone, and I go, oh, okay. And then we got to talking, and it turned out that this guy was one of these nutbags that had actually taken off all his clothes to go through security to make a statement. And I go, hold that thought. And I got the recording equipment, and I did the podcast. I did My Crappy Week right from the plane. I've done it in the airport. I was up at Montreal at the Comedy Festival, and I did podcasts up there. I do it in studio at HahaJK. So you don't know. I don't know what it is. It is what's happening in my life at that moment, and there just seems to be no end to the crap. No end. Why is my neighbor mowing the lawn at 7 in the morning on Saturday? The lawn's going to be there all day. Lawn's going nowhere. They should tune in for that reason. You don't know what you're going to get. When I always enjoyed performers like Robin Williams who would go on these talk shows and you didn't know what was going to happen. Chaos could happen. And that's what My Crappy Week is. It's sort of like, it's a chance for other performers, other people in real life. You yourself, if you had a crappy week, would contact me and go, I have a story. People call in and tell stories. It's just, it should feel a little bit different and maybe fresh. Because I think the world is sort of like in a state right now where it isn't so perfect. And instead of sort of hiding behind that, the one thing I do insist in all my interviews is that there's a level of honesty. And there's no beginning to the interviews. They walk into the room, hey, how you doing? Everything's rolling. They're already in there. We're already rolling. They don't know that. We're just having a conversation, and then it turns into. So the podcast and me getting into the questions, there's no room for people to perform. There's no performance. If there is, I shut it down. Absolutely. And no pretension and no just, you have to, unveil yourself. I want to see the true you. No hiding. There are going to be some really big guests coming up. I don't want to say who yet because if they canceled, I don't want people to be disappointed. But one thing I was really nervous about when I signed on with Haha JK and they asked me to do this, I was really nervous about being able to find guests because I sort of went back to high school where I was a loser. And Frank Dettori didn't invite me to his party. I had flashbacks to the only kid in the class who wasn't invited to Frank's party, and Frank lived next door. And I thought, what if I can't get guests? I don't want to let these guys down. And so I wrote a format for the show where if I had to, I could speak for an hour once a week. It would just be me complaining for an hour. And by the way, it takes a certain person to be able to complain and not be totally annoying. And I hope I have that balance. So I was prepared for that. What I wasn't prepared for was an overwhelming amount of people that wanted to come on. I mean, I was shocked, and I'm still shocked. And there are going to be some really cool people, but it isn't even about that because I don't even introduce their names. We just start talking, and it goes from there because it's really about a good conversation. It should sound like when you and I are talking on the phone. Now, when we're talking on the phone, there's no BS, there's no pretension. You are who you are. You're stripped down. You're not performing. And that's the goal of the podcast. So if I had so-and-so on, it wouldn't be anything like that person. So I'll give you, do we have a time limit here? Okay. I had a talk show with Oprah's company and CBS, okay? And we shot a pilot. And on the pilot, I had Eric Dane, who's McSteamy. Do you know who he is? Yeah. So I had McSteamy. So they go, this is going to be your guest. Okay, so I have him on. They go, what do you want to do? How do you want to, what kind of questions are you going to ask him? We have to get this cleared through his publicists, his agents, and managers. I said, what's going to happen is we're going to be talking, and all of a sudden steam is going to start rising. We're going to blow steam on him. And the network goes, you can't blow steam on Eric Dane. He's a major TV star. And I go, no, we're going to blow steam. And then I'm going to say, what's that? And he's going to go, that's steam. Matter of fact, I go, what do you mean that's steam? He goes, I'm sex symbol. Wherever I go, there's steam. I go, Starbucks? He goes, steam. You go to the steam. You go to the mall, great steam. I'm a sex symbol, steam. Right? And the network goes, we're not going to go up to Eric Dane and ask him, can we blow steam on you? And I did what I do, which is I now contact his people directly. And I pitched it, and he goes, he was so excited that he wasn't just going on a talk show and doing what they always do. He was so excited, and we did it. And he looked at me and goes, I've got to be on the show all the time. He goes, I would be a co-host. And that's what My Crappy Week is. It's a chance for these people. We're going to find out about things about these people that ordinarily nobody else is asking. You know, early on Seinfeld, I said, I want to have a talk show. He said, well, what would you ask me? And I said, I'd like to know, when you see an outfit you like, do you buy more than one of them? Because you have so much money that you don't have to worry about it. And he goes, I do. I buy 3 of everything. And that to me is interesting. And My Crappy Week is just going to be interesting. I don't read read this Teen Wolf scripts. I don't read the scripts, and I don't watch the show. Is that bad? Is that going to get me fired? Is that a good secret? Yeah. Coach doesn't know what's going on. Coach doesn't know that these kids are running around crazy, biting each other and turning into wolves and stuff. You know, if Coach knew that, would Coach be yelling at these kids and acting crazy and stuff like that? I think Coach would be hiding if he knew what was going on. I also have a feeling that Coach, if like a werewolf or one of these shape formers, or it's so funny because people will tweet me like, "We think you're the Kanema," and I'm like, I don't even know what the Kanema is. I think that you know, if one of these shape form, if they jumped out at Coach would, you know, I don't think so. That doesn't scare me. I've been through something.